My name is Primus Bahiji Atkwase, the Country Director of the Netherlands Institute for Multiparty Democracy, which is an international organization, headquarters based in The Hague. We are over 20 countries. We strive and to realize inclusive democracies across the world, and by striving for inclusive democracy, we focus on strengthening political party structures, changing the culture, and ensuring that the voices of the minorities, especially young people and women, are part and parcel of the decision-making process. So because of our DNA and belief in inclusive democracy, we, for the last 5 years as a global organization, we've been working on democracy education and democracy schools elsewhere. But as Uganda, at the start of 2002, we started thinking about Democracy Academy for Uganda. And we are happy that this year, 2023, with support from the European Union, we've been able to run our first cohort of the Democracy Academy. We observed that young leaders, young people were getting into leadership positions, but they are not having mentorship, we are not having skills, and to harness them and make them better leaders. So we set out to do this.
My name is Gold Ichiriza. Uganda Democracy Academy has taught me transparency, and I've really acquired knowledge, and also engaging with other political parties, people from delegates from different political parties, has taught me a mind of teamwork, and it has really built my mind, has broadened my mind to participate and also gain the art of dialogue.
I've learned a skill of tolerance, because democracy supposes that we are supposed to be tolerant to one another besides the political party inclinations. So one of the skills is tolerance, and the other one is problem solving. I've been asked that instead of playing the blame game, I should be the solution to the problems.
This training, I think, seeks to solve the problems of our ignorance when it comes to how democracy operates. It also seeks to solve a problem of us, the problems of the wrong perceptions that are out there about young people. I believe that spaces such as a democracy school, which is a leadership training institute, are important in raising the political consciousness of young people, in forming and forging networks and partnerships. I believe that the cohort that has just been equipped and nurtured and nourished will be able to take forward as a collective. And I believe these spaces are also important to identify personal and collective actions that can be taken forward towards promoting democracy and good governance in countries such as Uganda.
So specifically for Uganda, we started with focusing on young people. So academies are targeting young people between the age of 18 and 30 from political parties. And our critical objectives or purpose are basically two. One, to equip young people with knowledge, with skills around good governance, democratic leadership, democratic governance and transformative leadership.
My presence here is just a way of giving back to the young people and trying to inspire them and train them on how to become the kind of ideal politicians we are looking for. And my session today was focused on political ideology and political party systems. I tried to historicize and introduce to the young people the origins of ideology and how it came up. We talked about Marxism and the critique he had about what ideology is. We had conversations around the French Revolution, where this entire conversation about ideology started. And we were taking them through a process in trying to define what their political parties stand for.
It's a pleasure being part of this process, facilitating discussions on local governance, looking at decentralization, looking at thematic areas like federalism, different methods of decentralization, looking at how local governments operate, their finances, the legal infrastructure of the local governments, and the different roles young people can play in ensuring the effective functioning of our local governments.
When you look at one of the principles they actually taught us was participation. Participation should not only stop here at in Kalangala or in this academy. I feel like when we go out there, we're actually supposed to encourage participation of the people we lead or the people we work with.
When you talk of inclusivity in our country and in Africa at large, there are very many people who are so marginalized, and the aspect of inclusivity gives you helps you to understand the benefits of inclusivity, what you're supposed to do, how you're supposed to include other people in whatever you're doing, gender equality, gender balance, favoring people who are disadvantaged. We had debates concerning inclusivity of the youth, people with disabilities, in electoral processes. So the aspect of inclusivity is one thing I've understood. So
also learned about political ideologies. I've seen that there are so many parties in Uganda, and they have different political ideologies. But the most important thing is that in these political ideologies, we seem to understand that if you are in opposition, what is that you can do better than that party in the government?
To my understanding of political sphere in Uganda, I can describe it in a context of political system, institutions, and key political actors.
Currently, we are having the multi-party system in Uganda, which also have some simple challenges that we are trying to deal with. But currently, the political sphere in Uganda may be favorable, may be not favorable, but at least if everyone has an opportunity to come up and stand for their values and represent their constituents.
The relevance of the opposition in the country is quite great. The fact that even the current leaders have been opposition themselves defines quite a lot. But I also think the opposition is a breeding ground for new leaders. And the fact that I'm a UID member says a lot, because DP has been in opposition almost forever. But quite a lot of leaders have grown under the umbrella of UID, they have gone under DP, they have gone in FDC and other parties.
I do believe that the opposition in this country is actually relevant, because we realize that the opposition actually helps the government highlight its shortcomings. It questions the policies of the current government, which gives the government a go ahead on what they are supposed to do. Realize that the government actually picks ideas from these opposition parties and they implement them. However, they will not come out directly to say that we have picked actually, or we have copied and pasted this idea from the opposition.
We have seen a remarkable difference from the time the participants came in, from the first semester and now. I would say that the very first time they came, they were afraid. There was a little bit of trust issues. NRM would want to be their own cocoon, same with JEMA, same with other political parties. But now they are one. If you came in here, you would never know which person belongs to which political party.
We are going to continue nurturing them, continue interacting with them in various spaces. And we're also going to ensure that we integrate them into the entire programming of NIMD to ensure that we do not lose their voices.